So we move to the next item on the agenda, which is adopt and re-adopt of the bylaws or establish. Adopt or de-adopt bylaws or establish bylaws.
I don't know if I have to wait till you open it for discussion.
There's not a motion on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some people had asked so that we could have greater involvement in the community with the teachers, that we could add to the bylaws, that we could have a Google, open it in the Google Meet, so that people who can't maybe make it here by 5:30 because they work, or or the teachers that have to leave for daycare, could we add to our bylaws, thank you, that we open it up to a Google Meet? I mean,
It's a CPS thing, right?
Well, yeah, the thing is that any amendments that is done to the bylaws that we already have to go through the law department. We approve them here and then we send it to the law department to get approved. If they're approved, then it moves forward. We had sent, and I believe that are these, that's why I think because it has so many pages and too long to discuss in a meeting, that we should kind of table it and discuss it in a meeting where we will have the time just for this, or a special meeting that we call once we come back to session in September. It's just a recommendation that I'm giving, because you see, according to what it says here, to this agenda, it says adopt the re-adopt bylaws or establish. So if we re-adopt what we already had, then we move forward, and then we could open it again to discuss the bylaws.
so are you,
I would present a motion to table today for our next, and call a special meeting to discuss the bylaws.
Well, this is the thing. There's two documents. There's one page that's real simple, and there's one that's in detail. Which I get from this is like what they want you to adopt a recommendation. So it seems like this document is what you guys had last year. The one page, right?
when they came from LSC Relations, they said that we never got them approved. They were never approved.
So we have no bylaws
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
We tried to make an amendment and they didn't want the.
Okay, so that
So
means
they
we have
sent-
no bylaws,
and they
right?
sent it.
So that means that you're saying to table to create the bylaws.
Well, no, that's not necessary, because when Ms. Ford came to say that they wanted us to adopt the one that they recommend, and we said, no, we have already in the bylaws. But, it's not our fault that they didn't get it, but I think we should revise everything that we have in order to move forward with the
These
bylaws.
ones were sent multiple times. And those bylaws were sent multiple times.
Because as you recall, when you were the chairperson, Ms. Valentin, we revised the bylaws and were sent in and they were approved.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you guys as a new council didn't create new bylaws, and I am in the, like where I stand, if you guys want to table, that's fine. You have to create new bylaws with a new council.
Well, no, bylaws are
Can we keep this?
things that are amended.
Then where are those
right,
bylaws?
right.
Is this
Then
one?
you-
These are the ones.
But that's why when we send the one sheet, they didn't get it.
No, but is this the bylaws for this council?
Yeah, so what happened
Which
was,
ones?
these were the last bylaws that were sent to the law department under the previous administration and under the
Okay.
previous secretary.
Right,
So those were the ones that we chose to remain with
right.
in the process. And they made recommendations, but we said no to the recommendations and we maintained the bylaws that were in existence
Yeah.
prior to. So these were the last ones that were sent to the law offices under the previous
So that
administration.
means if
LSC.
we could look at this page right
Yes.
now,
Mhm.
and we could
Decide
look
to
at
give
these
them-
bylaws and work off these bylaws. And if we need to amend, we could amend, right?
We tried to do that, and the recommendation was like, no,
They sent
And-
the,
I don't know.
Because there's
and approve this
things
one.
that would like to see.
Right, yeah.
so then they sent the, when we made the
Okay.
amendments,
That's why I'm recommending that we table it, because there's some things that the teachers, have heard from teachers to bring into the bylaws that we have to discuss and either, put it there as an amendment to the bylaws. And I guess we have our part that, you know, that if somebody cannot make it on time and they have to be on and Google or whatever, that they could.
No.
Now, if it's not in the bylaws, they can't.
Okay, so this reads adopt or re-adopt. So we could actually move forward in re-adopting these. What I'm hearing us as a council saying we want to amend the bylaws.
Yeah.
So when do we amend the bylaws? At the next meeting?
I would say, call a special meeting just for the bylaws in September.
Okay, so because it's saying adopt or re-adopt, so
Right,
you
right.
adopt what you have,
We adopt
but
those.
we're in agreement that we're going to work on amendments.
Yeah.
These were never adopted. If you go back, when they attended our
We create them.
meeting, I know, but they
Right.
said these were never adopted,
They never received it.
so we don't
They
have
said
any
that.
bylaws right now.
They said they didn't receive it, but we,
But we
we
said
showed that, yes, we did
We
have
did.
bylaws.
they said that they found them. Those are the ones from,
Right.
this is from Mr. Jaramillo, Master Sergeant, the old LSC. These were the last ones that were approved. And then when we made amendments to this one, they recommended the 16-page document. But these were the last ones that were vetted by the old law department and the old LSC relations. So these are the ones that were last seen by LSC relations and the old law department before the change in chief and
Question, right
Go
now,
ahead.
there is no motion to adopt or re-adopt or anything.
No.
No,
No,
we are
just
technically
discuss.
like talking about
Is
it.
is it possible that we, like Mr. Killa said, to table it, give us an opportunity to review both, right?
And then make a
And
decision.
make a
in our
decision,
own.
an educated decision and adapt or
Mhm.
adjust or whatever we need to do to move forward.
No, and make sure that what we're reviewing
Right.
is what we submitted and is what legal has. So then we have an updated document. But I think what I wanna make sure that we're all in agreement is we wanna review these at a later time and make the amendments necessary. Is that what we're saying?
can we work out for these in the meantime though? Because we
Yes,
need some
yes.
type of order in terms of the next meeting.
Yeah, you have to work out, if we approve these to move on, until we go into the adopting or amendment, we have to live by
There's
that.
nothing to,
I think so too. I think we should adopt this ones and then make
Then-
amendments if we want to, but at least today we have something.
see, because if it said amend, then we go right straight to that business, right?
But it's,
But it's not that, right?
And just for the legality part, are we able to readjust it afterwards? Like you say, we make the motion, we approve these, we could adjust it later on or make the amendment?
yes, you
Mhm.
can.
Okay.
And we're gonna make sure that in our open discussion, we say, hey, in the next meeting or whenever we want, whatever you guys decide, we will look at these.
Yeah, the amendments go through, so once we agree on amendments, they don't go into practice yet. They have to go to
Oh, to
the,
law.
yeah, so what I do is I have to
and
send it to the law
Okay,
department and
okay,
LSC
so it's a
relations.
process.
Okay.
And then it may take anywhere weeks for them to get back depending on their review of it, and they may say yes or no to the amendment. So all amendments have to be approved by the law department.
So could we re-adopt the minutes the bylaws that we have, and then we were I think in an agreement to look into it in September?
I would just make one comment. That sounds, I'm sorry. Can I speak?
No, that's okay.
That sounds great to me. I'm just concerned about follow through. We've had this exact same discussion before that we will have a special meeting to amend, and that was over, in a year and a half has gone by, and so I'm fine with that, but I worry that I don't want this just to be, all right, let's adopt it now, we'll get to it later, and then we've got them, and then we'll just kind of never get to it later.
Yeah.
We have to get to it later.
Yeah, no, and
This
me and
is
Norma will make
sooner
sure
than
that
later.
it's in the next agenda. Like
Right.
that's what we could make sure
That's why I
of,
was gonna
right?
say, who does the agendas, just to make sure that that's in there.
Yeah, I think what
I've
happened
been
in the
working
past,
that
it
with
wasn't our fault, it was law department.
Right.
And then we got.
Because I mean, if you go through the points, actually, these are the amendments we initially create.
I get
So
it.
that's what we did. So this is the reflection of the work we did in that special meeting.
Yeah, I agree. It just kind of at a certain point, it just kind of.
We'll have that conversation in
Yes.
September,
Yes.
right? If we go
That's
past
fine.
September, then we're not keeping our word, right? So
Right.
we said, let's
Right.
adopt what you guys have. And then in September, we look at it as a team and make the adjustments necessary.
Right.
And I would just add on, just now as a sort of, that's great, I have no problem with that. When September rolls around and we go forward, I would add on to what Ms. Dunn said and what teachers have acted, and especially after hearing all the public comment, how poignant they were and how sincere they were about Steinmetz and being open and advertising what we have and everything else. I think Google Meets is an excellent way to do it, right? We're a public body with public funds, and I think that using Google Meets, even people who don't go to school, like this one woman said, just living in the area, you got things to do. You can be participating in our public school system
Yeah,
in that fashion. So I think that's super important.
yeah, and I agree, Mr. Caputi. Let's keep it real. I have trauma, right? From people wanting to watch a live video and then flip it and take it to do what they want with it, right? We're being FOIA every meeting, right? But yet when you try to engage with those folks, right, there's no engagement. We can't have a coffee. We can't have a one-on-one. So when I hear sometimes the opening in public, right, people take something good that we're trying to do and want to flip it to the negative. So I understand when people hear Google Meet, oh my God, but I think that this is our first meeting, it's a fresh start. And I think that we have to set the tone. And we set the tone ourselves to then set the tone to people in the outskirt, right? People are going to talk good or bad no matter what, but I think that's the hesitation many people have when it comes to the Google, right? And does that mean that we all go on Google and don't have this relationship, right? That would be a different console too. Because with my career, right, I will be telling you all the time I'm coming via Google, right? Because I'm still present in a meeting. But is that really a way to build relationship? Is that really a way for us as a council to say we're gonna get work done? So when we talk about those things, we have to be careful, right? Because if we set it in there, is it good for us too, right? And it changes the dynamic. So I'm open to hear, right? It's my first time back in 2.5 years. So I just think that we need to do what's right for everyone, for those here and those not. But we have a lot of trauma when it comes to, taking what you say. Remember, I was the chair. I was quoted. Pictures were put everywhere, right? So
I'm familiar.
And I'm going through that too.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
also-
So it's stressful.
I'm
It's
familiar with being wildly misrepresented.
And inclusive, I received this
it's tough.
DCFS in my
Yeah.
home.
By people in control of my.
So
career.
can I present a
so-
motion to re-adopt the bylaws?
I second. So open for discussion?
We had all the discussion.
Yes,
So this is gonna be on the September meeting agenda.
right.
Okay.
But so far we have something right from today to move forward. So we're legally okay with this approval. So,
September,
right,
or then you submit it and then it takes months.
right.
Mhm.
So close discussion? Yes, close discussion and roll call for vote, please.
Mr. Caputi,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez, Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin, Mr. Quiles,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Gurola,
Yes.
and myself, yes. It's 11, yes. Motion passes.
11, motion pass. So we move to the next item on the agenda, and it's to adopt and re-adopt rules of order for the LSC meetings. So I would like to present the motion to maintain the rubber rules of order in our LSC meetings.
We offer tech for
Thank
life,
you, Ms.
learning,
Dunn.
and everything else. Shop back to school deals like to be 3C.
Open for discussion. Nothing to discuss. Close discussion and roll call for vote, please.
Mr. Caputi,
Yes.
Mr. De Jesus,
Yes.
Ms. Dunn,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Rodriguez, Ms. Hernandez,
Yes.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Ms. Marin, Mr. Quiles,
Yes.
Ms. Valentine,
Yes.
Ms. Gurola, and myself, yes, that's 11. Yes.
11 votes, motion passed. So next item in the agenda is the announced date of the first regular meeting. And our next is going to be September, you said September
11,
September 11
5:30.
at 5:30 p.m.